Hey everyone, welcome to the Wilson Homestead. I'm down here in the veggie garden and I have a few things that need harvested this evening, so I thought I would bring you along. I harvested a few things last night and I thought, well, I'm going to save the rest of it for this evening so that way I can bring you guys along and show you. I have some green beans that need harvested, I have a few cucumbers that need harvested, and possibly a zucchini. We'll see. I'll have to check on that zucchini to see if it's ready or not. But oh, it is so humid this evening. I mean, if you see me glistening, that's why. I mean, it feels like you could cut the air with a knife. But anyway, let's get to this harvest and see what we get. Trusty sidekick with me as usual. Think he's gonna have a little nap. Aren't you, Hiccup? Are you sleepy? You poor baby. While I'm down here, I need to trim up some of these sick tomato leaves. Get those off of the plants. And also, I need to tie that up. So I'm going to work on that first, and then we will start picking beans. I have my Clorox wipe here and my pruners. It's very important when you're working with diseased plants to keep sterilizing your blade before you move on to another plant. He's still sound asleep. Sleeping on the job. What do you think he's dreaming about? You can see I had to remove a lot of the leaves from these tomato plants. They are so sickly because it's been so humid and damp and just yucky, and that's like perfect conditions for fungal diseases to start taking off on these plants. Mostly what I had on these plants was some kind of leaf spot, and then down here at this end I did have a little bit of blight on this plant. But it's just a bummer. Hopefully I can get some of these tomatoes ripened up before these plants just get taken over by these diseases and die. You can see that there is some spotting on these stems even of these plants down here. It all started with this plant right here. This is an Amish paste tomato, and I don't know if I will ever grow these again since they're that susceptible to getting sick. I might try a few more hybrid varieties next year just so I don't have to deal with like cutting on these plants all the time just to try to keep them healthy. It's just not worth it. And I've never grown these before, but I'm getting some pretty nice sized fruit on here. But even if they were like the best tasting tomato in the world, is it really worth it to have to come out here every time it rains and cut off diseased leaves? I don't know. Okay, let's get started on picking some beans. This first bed that I'm going to pick are red swan bush beans. And I did go through here last night and picked some, but I think there are probably some more ready today. So let's check and see if there are. Look how pretty these are. I just love them. I think they're gorgeous. Okay, moving on, I have some pencil pod bush beans in here. And then on down farther in the row, I have some royal burgundy bush beans. So let's pick these next. Look how gorgeous those are. The pencil pod is a yellow potted bean, and if you let the seeds inside get ripe, they are black inside, so that's why they call it pencil pod. Clever! I love it. Okay, now I'm gonna go get the royal burgundy ones. Oh, I've got a couple more pencil pods in here that I missed. Okay, I think I got all of them now. Alright, just gonna give those a toss there. And here are the royal burgundy. They're purple potted bean. Gorgeous! Okay, this bed will be a repeat of the other one that I picked that had the royal burgundy and then the pencil pod beans up there. And then this bed that I'm picking next has a mixture of things in it. I have red swan here in the front. You can see that there's still a few more in there that need picked. And then I have, oh my gosh, I just noticed this. I have ground cherries coming up in here. I did not plant those. They seeded themselves from last year. I'm trying to find my tags in here. That could be hard to do. Let me jump off of here and see if I can find my tags, and then I will let you know what else is in this bed. Okay, I had to dig through here and find my tags. I have red swan right here in the front. Then I have golden butter wax beans all the way up to here, and then the rest are jade bush beans. So let's go through these next couple beds and see what we get. Okay, I'm separating these out into two separate buckets because I want to know what is what. I want to do a taste test to see if any are better than the others. I have the pencil pods here, the red swans, the royal burgundy in that one, and then here I have jade and golden butter wax beans. Okay, excuse my appearance. I told you I was going to be a sweaty mess because it's so humid out. But anyway, I wanted to taste test these green beans. Well, not green beans, all different color beans while I'm down here. I did go over and pick, let's see here. I picked 4 Blue Lake bush beans. They're not quite ready yet, but I wanted to just have these to compare to the jade bush beans. So I'll start with Blue Lake because that's the first bean that I started growing in my garden. And I have grown it for a lot of years, and it usually does pretty good. So, really good. Beany flavor. Just your basic run-of-the-mill green bean. Okay, next I'm going to try the jade bush beans. Here, let me get a few so you can just see what they look like. They're a pretty long bean. Nice and slender. And these actually cost more. I go to one of the local farm stores to buy my seeds for Blue Lake and jade beans, and these always cost a lot more than the Blue Lake or the Tenderette. These they're like double the price at least, I think, because I thought, well, why should I buy these? But we'll see here. See if they're any good. Okay. It's kind of the same as the Blue Lake flavor, but I'm gonna say that Blue Lake is a little bit more beany flavored, if that makes any sense, and this is a tiny bit sweeter than the Blue Lake, but they're still both really good beans. let's get into the colorful beans. We'll start out with Red Swan. I tried one of these the other night on camera, and I was worried because it seemed kind of tough. We'll see, since I've tasted some of the green beans, if it seems tough to me. Yeah, it still seems a little bit more tough. It still has a good flavor though. It's really sweet. So once these are cooked, they might be fine. And I just want to show you a handful of these up close. These are some of the most beautiful beans that I've ever grown before. And these were the first ones that actually put out a crop of beans. So that's pretty cool. Okay, next up is the Royal Burgundy purple beans. Now, I'm guessing that the red ones will turn green when you cook them. That's what these do. The purple ones, they turn green when you cook them. They're still fun though. This one has a little bit more of a tough skin too, but it has a good flavor. Not quite as sweet as the Red Swan, but still good. They're all good. They all taste like beans. Okay, now for the yellow beans. And typically what I have found since I started growing all the different color beans is that the yellow beans tend to be the sweetest of all. So we'll start out with the pencil pod beans. Give you a close-up of these. Pencil pod beans, very pretty. And I'll go ahead and show you the golden butter wax beans too, just so we can have a side-by-side comparison. Here's the golden butter wax bean. Here's the pencil pod. Not a whole lot of difference. So I'm guessing that the flavor is probably not going to be that much different either. Okay, start with the pencil pod here. Really tender. Really sweet. Not quite as sweet as I was expecting, but good nonetheless. I think the wax beans are really actually my favorite ones because they do tend to be a little bit sweeter than the green beans and the red and purple ones. Okay, now golden butter wax bean. I've grown these for a couple years. Yeah, this one's the sweetest one of the two. Okay, this is #1 sweetest bean that I grow, golden butter wax bean. And it's a shame, I couldn't hardly find any seed this year, so I didn't plant very much of these beans this year. But the pencil pod comes in a close second for the second sweetest. But like I said, they're all good. They're all good beans. You can't go wrong unless you're having like insect damage or disease problems or stuff like that. Like if you just compare it flavor-wise, like I said, the yellow beans are the sweetest, but all of them taste like green beans. And if you mix them together, you're going to have something wonderful anyway. Okay, I consolidated all of my beans into the same basket. Look how pretty that is. I mean, if you ask me, life is better when you have a quadruple collar bean basket to carry up from the garden. Love it. Okay, that does it for the beans, so let's go pick a few more things. I have some National Pickling cucumbers coming on, and I'll probably be out tomorrow to pick some of this dill because I think that I need to make some refrigerator pickles. I am getting so many cucumbers in right now that I need to get with it. Lord have mercy, I missed one. How did I miss that thing? That's way too big to do anything with now. I'll probably just cut it open and give it to the chickens. Yuck. Alright, let's check the munchers and the bait alphas. These are smooth skin cucumbers. They are my favorite for fresh eating. And if you ask me, they're pretty much the same cucumber. I can't tell the difference between the two. See, this is a bait alpha right here. And this one's a muncher. Okay, the last thing to harvest is a zucchini. All of them are starting to produce now. So hopefully those nasty vine borers stay away from these plants. But this is the first zucchini that I'm harvesting. So let's try to do this holding the camera and the shears at the same time. Alright. And that's a pretty good zucchini. I don't like to let them get too big because then they're gross and seedy inside. But that to me is the perfect size. And I don't know what I'm going to make out of this yet. We like several zucchini recipes. I'll have to share them all with you sometime. If I get enough zucchini this year, I might do that. Check out these sunset runner beans. They're starting to get really pretty. Little baby bean right there. Let's just take a moment and admire this little baby watermelon. Oh, ain't he cute? Alright, that's it for tonight's harvest. I probably harvested a gallon and a half of beans last night, and probably a half a gallon of cucumbers last night. So if I add all of this stuff together, I'm going to have to do something with it. I'm probably going to can the beans and make some pickles, and I don't know what I'm going to make with this. Something good. Alright, I'm going to wrap it up here. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next time here on the Wilson Homestead. Bye, guys. I wanted to pop a quick clip in here of these beans after I got them all washed and snapped. I'm getting ready to can them now, but look how beautiful those are.